Greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Marathon Wednesday, and we've got a viewer's request. That's quite a lot of these marathons are, and today we've been asked to do Nick Lowe. Great musician, producer, songwriter. He's a noted figure in the what they call the pub rock, power pop genres, and he was the new wave back in the late 70s, early 80s. He's worked with, of course, Dave Edmunds. They were together in Rock Pile, and they appear on each other's albums either as a musician or producing each other, and writing for each other, so they're quite good. Now, Nick has had 14 studio albums, so we'll have a look through them. Now, with his collection, there's always songs on every album that I like. There isn't an album that I don't dislike completely. There's just ones I prefer. I think he's made some really good records over the years, so we'll have a look. So here we go. Coming in at number 14 is from 2001, and it's called The Convincer. Playing on here, Nick Lowe plays guitars and vocals. Grant Watkins is organ and piano. Robert Treherne is drums, and Steve Donnelly plays the lead guitar on this. First track on this one is called Home Wrecker. It's not the best track on the album, and I do feel that this part of his career, Nick's voice is starting to waver a little bit, but it's still a pleasant song. Up next is a track called Only a Fool Breaks His Own Heart. Now, this is a song that was written by Norman Bergen, and it was written in 1964, and it's not a bad song. He does a reasonably good job of that one. Then we have Lately I've Seen Let Things Slide. It's not a bad version of this song either. It's alright, pretty good. She's got soul. Nick does sound a little bit flat on here, I'm afraid. No disrespect, Nick, but you sound a little bit flat. Cupid Must Be Angry. A good track, I like this. It's a nice, gentle sort of track. Not a bad vocal from Nick on that one. My favourite track on here is a track called Indian Queens. I like the start of it. It sounds like a colliery band, a bit like in brassed off, and then the keyboards are good. It's pretty good song. Poor Side of Town. This is Johnny Rivers' song, and he does a very good version of it. One of my favourites on this album. I'm a Minute Mess. Solid song, pleasant. Between Dark and thing, he sounds it's a bit odd. I'm not a very big fan of that one. Bygones Won't Go. It's okay. It's pleasant enough. She's Got a Friend. It's a bit of a country sort of thing here. It's quite nice. Let's Stay In and Make Love. Some nice guitar work on this. Nice track to end the album. Okay, it's not one of his best albums, but it has got some highlights on it, so I should give this one an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 13, we get to 2007 now, and At My Age. Basically, it's the same lineup. We've got Nick on lead vocals, rhythmic guitar and electric bass, Robert Treherne on the drums, Grant Watkins on organ and piano, Steve Donnelly on the lead guitar, and we've got Matt Rashford on the double bass this time. Better Man, great little track, nice pleasant melody, good vocal from Nick, I like that one. Long Limbed Girl, it's an alright tune, but it does lack something. I'm not quite sure, and I can't hit the nail on the head. It just didn't ring with me. I Trained Her to Love Me. I think this is really good. It's a nice tune, well put together. The Club, it's got a nice little beat to it. I like that one as well. Hope for Us All. It's not the best vocal from Nick. Was a bit disappointed with that one. People Change. It's a little bit mundane, this song. It just doesn't seem to flow very well. Then we got The Man in Love. I like this track. It's quirky. It's got a nice beat to it. It's a nice vocal as well. Love's Got a Lot to Answer For. Again, not the best vocal from Nick. His poor old voice shakes a little bit. Rome Wasn't Built in a Day. A good track. I like the strings on this. It gives it that extra edge. Not Too Long to Go. It's got that sort of Motown feel to it. I like it. It's pretty good. The Other Side of the Coin. As I've said before, I think Nick's vocal was, he's getting older. It's changed. He just can't hit some of them notes like he did. But it's still a reasonable song. And the last song on here is called Feel Again. Not a bad song either. It's a sort of a country thing. Really pleasant. Another mixed bag here. I do like listening to it. It's got some nice songs on it as usual. So I should give this one an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, coming in at number 12 is the most current album that is released. It was released in 2013. It's called Quality Street, which is a selection of seasonal songs for all the family. The album was featured at number 17 on the Rolling Stones 40 Essential Christmas Albums in 2019, so it didn't do too bad. So on here we've got Nick Lowe, Geraint Watkins, Johnny Scott on guitars now, Matt Radford on the bass, and Robert Tahern doing the drums. It's got lots of traditional songs like Go Where the Children Send Thee. That's quite nice. Christmas Can't Be Far Away. Excellent little track. And then there's one of Nick's own. It's called Christmas at the Airport. He wrote this when he decided to do this, and he was at an airport, so it was just writing a song about the airport. It's really nice as well. Then we have Old Toy Trains from Roger Miller. He does a great version of that. I think it's a really nice version. The North Pole Express, again, it's nice, very good. Hooves on the Roof, written by Ron Sexsmith, very good version of it. I like that one as well. And then one of Nick's own called I Was Born in Bethlehem. It's basically a song because I've listened to where he talks about each track, and this one he says he did this as looking at how Jesus saw the story and what happened. So that's quite good. Just to Be With You at Christmas, not too bad. Rise Up Shatter, another traditional song, really good. Silent Night, yeah, that's probably the blip on the album for me. A Dollar Short of Happy, another written by Nick Lowe and Roy Cooder, very good little song. And it ends up with Wizards, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. It's alright. Not a bad album. It's one of them albums you put on at Christmas, and for what it is, it's really good. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 5.6. Okay, then coming in at number 11, we go to an album from 2011, and it's called The Old Magic. Usual people are on here. You got Nick doing the rhythm guitar, Robert Tahern on drums, Geraint Watkins on the organ, Steve Donnelly guitar, Neil Brockbank on vibraphone, got Johnny Scott doing some guitar as well, and Matt Radford on the double bass. Stop Like Roses, very good. It's a nice opening tune. I like that one quite a lot. Check Out Town, one of my favourite track on here. It's just a good old fashioned rock and roll number, and Nick sounds great on it. House for Sale, I like the arrangement on this. Nice double bass sound on that's pretty good. Sensitive Man, very good little tune. Nice gentle one as well. Excellent little track. I Read a Lot. His voice has certainly changed over the years, and he doesn't seem to ring on that one. Shame on the Rain. I like his vocal on this one though. very gentle. And then we get Restless Feeling. Why I like this one, it's just another nice gentle song. Then we have a song written by Elvis Costello. It just lacks something, and the voice isn't good. Somebody Cares for Me, really good. Great little quirky tune and a great vocal from Nick on that one. You Don't Know Me At All. His voice doesn't sound right on that one. Till the Real Thing Comes Along. It's really good. It's a nice 50s, 60s ballad. I like that. It's not a bad way to end the album. It's not a bad album. Some of the vocal is a little bit weak, but it's still, musically it sounds great. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 10, we have from 1983, The Abominable Showman. So on here we've got Nick Lowe on the bass guitar and lead vocals, James Eller on bass, Bobby Irwin is drumming, Paul Carrick, yes, the Paul Carrick, keyboards and backing vocals and duo vocals on Wish You Were Here, Martin Belmont on guitars, Robert Kirby takes care of the string arrangements. We've got harmonies from Carleen Carter and Simon Climmy and Pete Marsh. First track is We Want Action. Not one of my favourite songs, I'm afraid. It's probably one of my least favourite songs by Nick Lowe, full stop. Raging Eyes, it's got a real rockabilly feel to this. I do like it. Very, very good track. Cool Reaction. It's got a bit of a reggae feel to it. Well, that's pretty good and it's pretty solid. Time Wounds All Heals. Bit wishy-washy for Nick. What was he doing a track like that? Doesn't suit him. Man of Fall. This has got that sort of 1950s, late 50s, early 60s ballad to it. There's some really nice guitar work on that one. I do like that track. Then we have a track called Tank Ray. Reminds me a bit, remember the song Jungle, Jungle, Jungle Rock? Reminds me of that. It's got that feel to it. It's a good track. Wish You Were Here. Bit poppy, but it's a good track. You've got Paul Carrick singing on it. It's nice. Chicken and Feathers. This one is too poppy. 80s pop thing, so yeah, it's not the best track on there for me. Paid the Price. Good track. I love the string arrangement on this. It really gives it depth. Mess Around with Love. The drums sound a little bit hollow on this, but on the whole, the track is pretty good. Saint Beneath the Paint, just some nice rock and roll, best track on the album. How Do You Talk to an Angel? Now this one goes back more to the 30s, 40s feel. I love the bass line on that. It's a terrific bass line, good song to end the album. Got some really good tracks on here. It's got that 80s feel to it, and that's why it's probably a bit lower down. Everyone has to do it, don't know, the 80s production, but on the whole, I'll give this a 6, an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, then coming in at number 9, go to 1994 now for The Impossible Bird. So joining Nick on here is Gary Granger on guitar, Bill Kirchin on trombone and electric guitar, Paul Riley on the bass, Bobby Irwin on the drums, Grant Watkins as ever on the organ, and he just play a bit of a guitar on this as well. Soulful Wind, love this. It's got that proper pub rock sound. Great track to open up the album. The Best in Me. This sounds like a classic sort of Nick Lowe song. His voice was still good then, and I like this. Really good. True Love Travels on the Gravel Road. Now this was written by Fraser Owens and made, of course, popular by Elvis Presley. Not a bad version of this. Nick does a very good job of it. I like that. Trails of Tears comes next. Solid track. Great sounding track. Shelley, my love. I just, when it's just him, he needs a band. He needs a bit more depth. I just am not keen on that one. Where's My Everything? Very country. I like that. Then we have 12-step program. Quick to You, baby. Good rocker. This is great track from Nick. Lover Don't Go. Bit of a whiny song. Not a favourite of mine. Drive Through Man. Pleasant song. It's got a good vocal. Withered on the Wine. It's okay. Not my favourite. I Live on a Battlefield. He wrote this with Paul Carrick, and I love this track. Really nice words. Then we have 14 Days. Not too bad. Nice little quirky little track. Then we've got I'll Be There. Now this is a country song by Ray Price. A lot of people have covered this. Elvis, Connie Smith has, and Johnny Bush, and it's a really good version of it. It's a nice little song to end the album. Another mixed bag. It's got some songs I really like on here, and there's some that I'm not keen on. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 8 from 1988, Pinker and Prouder. Joining Nick on here, Paul Carrick's back and he's doing organ and piano. John Hyatt is guitars. Geraint Watkins is on the keyboards. John David. Yes, the John David that was in Love Sculpture is on the bass. Kim Wilson on harmonica. Mickey Belmont on the electric guitar, like Mickey G. Bobby Irwin does some drums as well. With Pete Thomas, there's lots of people on. Jimmy Fawn, Terry Williams doing drums, and Paul Basin on bass. So it's got lots of musicians. So the first track on this one is called You're My Wildest Dreams. Nice little opening track. The harmonica on this is great. Solid track. Crying in My Sleep. Gentle song. Great song. Love that one. Big Hair. One of my favourite tracks on here. I love the guitar solo on it. It's got some quirky keyboard and a fab vocal from Nick. My favourite on here is a song called Love Gets Strange. It's got that pubby rock feel. You know, this song could have been either sung by Nick or his mate Dave Edmunds. It's one of them sort of tracks, and that's why I like it. I Got the Love. A very 50s sort of track. Then we get a song written by Graham Parker. It's called Black Lincoln Continental, and it's a good song. Great vocal from Nick. Love that one. Cry It Out. Quirky keyboards. Just a fine track. Lovers Jamboree. Just good old-fashioned rock and roll Yahoo thing. Paul Carrick's on it. It's one of my favourite tracks on here. Gersha Girl. Country style sort of song, that sort of country rock sound, pretty good track. Wishing Well, not like the Free song, but it's really good. The vocals are good here from Nick. It's good fashion rock and roll. Big Love, another great song to end the album, written by Ray Carroll and Wynne Stewart. It's just a great little rock and roll number. Now, considering this album was done in the mid-80s, it's got none of that nasty 80s production on it. It's just good old-fashioned rock and roll, and I do like this album. I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Now, coming in at number 7 is from 1990, and it's Party of One, and this was produced by Dave Edmunds. So on here we've got, joining it, we've got Jim Keltner on drums, Bill Kirchen on electric guitar, Paul Carrick plays the keyboards, organ and piano, Austin DeLone on piano as well, acoustic guitar, Roy Cooder on mandolin and guitars, Dave Edmunds plays on this as well, Ray Bound on the string bass on one track. So the first track is my favourite on here. It's called You Got the Look I Like. A little bit overproduced, but it's still a great song. I like it when Dave and Nick get together. It's a great track. I love it. I Want to Build a Jumbo Ark. It's alright. Not one of my favourite on here. A little bit bleh. Then we got Jai Jin Man. It's alright. It's a good little solid rock track. Who Was That Man? Like the guitar work on this. Really good. What's Shaking on the Hill? But reminds me of Don Williams. I don't like that. Then we have the, what's it called? Xing Tang. Not very good. I'm not very keen on that one. All the Men Are Liars. I think that's a good song. Overproduced, but it's great. Rocky Road. Yes, the thing co-written by Simon Kirke. With Nick Lowe. Refrigerator Right. It's okay. I Don't Know Why You Keep On Me. The riffs in here are great. It's Nick and Dave working together. Until it's that, And then we got Honey Gun. That's just like, it's one of them typical last track on the album syndrome. It's alright. There's some good songs on here. They all sound the same, but I like it in a strange way. I know Richard's not very keen on this one, but I just like, for some reason I like it, so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.2. Time for a drink, I think. Okay then, coming in at number 6. Go to 1998 now for Dig My Mood. Joining Nick on here, Steve Donnell is back on the lead guitar. We've got Nick Pentelo on tenor sax. Robert Turan is on the drums. Grant Watkins is there doing all things keyboardy, including the accordion and a bit of guitar. First track on this one is called Faithless Lover. I love this song. It's my favourite on here. It's got lots of atmosphere. Great vocal. Just a wonderful song. Lonesome Riviere. The lovely guitar tones on this. Really nice. You got Nick's great little rhythm there. Steve Donnelly's lead's pretty good. I do like that track. You Inspire Me. Wonderful vocal from Nick. The piano makes it sound sultry and moody. Good track. What a Lack of Love Has Done. This track reminds me of Buddy Holly. It's got that Buddy Holly feel to it, and Nick does a great vocal on that. Time I Took a Holiday. Fine vocal from Nick. Very quirky sort of track. Failed Christian. Not a great fan of this one, I'm afraid. It's the blip on the album. Man, What I've Become reminds me of a Johnny Cash sound. I love that guitar. The bass is excellent from Nick. So just an excellent track, that one. Freezing. It's got a fantastic saxophone solo on it, and the bass is great as well. Another terrific track. High on a Hilltop. Quirky keyboards on this that really gives this track a lot of depth. It's a really nice song. Lead Me Not. It's okay. Not the best. I Must Be Getting Over You. Solid song. I've got no problem with that one. Just typical Nick sort of song. Grey Light Over Dawn, written by Ivory Joe Hunter. I've heard this song a bit, and it's a nice track, and it's a good way to end the album. Out of his later albums, this is my favourite album of the modern ones. I think this has got some nice songs on it, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay then, coming in at number 5. This is from 1984, and it's when he had his cowboy outfit, and this is Nick Lowe and his cowboy outfit. The cowboy outfit was Martin Belmont on guitar, Paul Carrick on keyboards and backing vocals, Bobby Irwin was on the drums, Billy Bremner, not the footballer of course, He's just guitar on a couple of tracks, and Bobby Valentino fiddle on God's Gift to Women. The T-Cow horns, which are Jim Blythe on saxophone, Jimmy Patterson on the trombone, David Blues trumpet, and Phil Sphere on saxophone. So the first track on this album is called Half a Boy and Half a Man. I love this. It's got that sort of 60s sounding keyboard, you know, like on Del Shannon Runaway, that sort of high pitched tone, and it really works on there. I love that. Then we have Breakaway, a song written by Tom Springfield. Great little solid track. I love that. Then he does a Mickey Jupp song, You'll Never Get Me on one of those. Great song. Nick does a great track on it. I love the bit about the airplanes at the beginning. Really good. Love Like a Glove. Got a hooky riff. I just love it. Then we have G and the Richard and the 3-card trick. Love the keyboards again in here. It's got that 60s high-pitched tone. It's one of my favourite tracks on the album. Then we have Hey Big Mouth, Stand Up and Say That. At the beginning it's got these 80 drums going, oh no! It sort of pans out. It's got a great guitar solo on it. I love the track. Awesome. My favourite track on here. Why? Because of the riff. It's got that great 60s riff. Even the drums sound good for 1984. It's none of that smoothie stuff. God's Gift to Women. I love this. Got a little bit of violin on there. It's a pretty good track. Maureen. Great riffs. Driving riffs. Some cracking rock and roll piano on that. Then we have LAFS. It's one of the most 80s sounding tracks on here with its sort of 80s sound, but them horns are great. Really is good. I like that track. Live Fast, Love Hard, Die Young. Brilliant version of this Joe Allison song. Good way to end the album. I love this album. Some strong songs on it, even though it was in the mid-80s. Some of the drumming's a bit mid-80s, but on the whole, this is just an absolutely cracking album. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 4 is the last album that with the Cowboy outfit, and it's The Rose of England. So on here, we have got the same lineup. So the first track on here is The Rose of England. Really nice song, some nice piano on it. Great vocal from Nick. Lucky Dog, just solid rock and roll. Then we have I Knew the Bride When She Used to Rock and Roll. A song that Nick wrote for Dave Edmunds. So it's different to Nick's, to Dave's, but it's still great. They're both great versions. Then we have a song written by Elvis Costello, Indoor Fireworks, just one of my favourite songs on here. It's got some nice guitar, but my favourite track on this one is Hope to God I'm Right. I just like the basic tones on this. It's just a very good track. I Can Be the One You Love, a great country rock track this is here. Great vocal from Nick, superb song. Everyone, some lovely guitars on this, the rhythm's nice, the lead guitar is great. Then we have Bobo Skedaddle, love the riff in this, great drumming, best ending on this album. Just really needed this track to polish it off. Great track, great album. You know, out of the two with the Cowboy outfit, this is the best one. Lovely record. I just love playing this. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.7. Okay, we've got to the top 3. Tough these were. These are definitely the best 3 albums by Nick. Any of these could be number 1 at any time, to be quite honest. Depends what mood I'm in. So This is how I'm going to stick to it because I've changed this 3 times. So, coming in number 3 from 1982, and it's Nick the Knife. And it was the first album since the breakup of Rockpile. So we got Nick Lowe doing what he does, Bobby Irwin on drums and backing vocals, Terry Williams does a bit of drumming on here, Billy Bremner does the guitars, Martin Belmont does some guitars, Aldo Bocco does guitars and drums on Heart, Neil King piano and organ, we've got Carleen Carter, Steve Neve and Ben Bankson doing the pianos and Hammond organ on tracks, Paul Carrick as well doing the same, and James Eller does more bass. First track, Burning, brilliant, love this track, great drumming on this, just a fantastic song. Then we get Heart, which is of course a Rockpile song, a little bit different to the Rockpile song, but it's still a great song anyway. I love that song. Stick It Where the Sun Don't Shine, I love the lyrics in this, it's just great, rock and roll. Then we have one of my favourite tracks by Nick Lowe, definitely top 5, The Queen of Sheba. I just love this track. I love the sound on it, I love his vocal, it's just a great track. My Heart Hurts, another solid song, great vocal from Nick. Couldn't Love You Any More Than I Do. I've always said this is Nick Lowe doing the Everly Brothers. It's so, there's lovely little harmony on it. It's a great track. Very Everly Brothers. Let Me Kiss You. I love the bass on this. It's just one of them great little bass lines. I love a little bit of tambourine in the middle. It's very quirky. Too Many Teardrops, an awesome song. That's just a great little rock and roll track. Barb Doom, quirky. The keyboards is so 1960s again. He loved that sort of Del Shannon runaway keyboard sound. Raining, Raining, probably the weaker track on here, but it's still not too bad. Where are we? I've lost my place. Too Many, One's Too Many and 108 Enough. The vocal on here is great. I love that echoey shuffle drums, the guitar sound, but pretty good. Zulu Kiss, one of the weaker tracks on it, and you can tell this is the last track on the album, Syndrome. Okay, classic Nick Lowe album, great tracks, and I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Now this is where the problem was, keep swapping these two over, so I've just stopped doing it now. I kept listening to them going, oh, I prefer this one. In the end I just stopped. So coming in at number 2 is the solo debut album, Jesus of Cool. So joining Nick on here, we've got Billy Bremner on guitars, Dave Edmunds on guitars and vocals, John Turnbull does a lead guitar on Nutted by Reality, John McPhee does a guitar solo on Tonight, Martin Belmont does a little bit of guitar work as well, so Andrew Bonnar is on the bass. Music for Money is the opening track. What a great track, classic song from Nick. I love the drums on this and then great riffs. Up next, my favourite song by Nick Lowe of all time. It's the big single here. I love the sound of breaking glass. I just think this is unique. It was great for the time. Absolutely great track. Then we have a track called Little Hitler, written by Lowe and Edmunds, and you got Nick and Dave singing on it, and it's great. Forget the title, it's just a great song. Shake and Pop, I love the drums at the beginning of this. It's just a great rock track. Tonight, the harmony singing on this is brilliant. It's a lovely little song. So She Goes, another popular track by Nick, quirky Catchy lyrics, brilliant song. Then we have No Reason. It's that keyboard. It's great. The vocal is so good. This is one of them tracks at that time. You know, you got Nick doing this, you had Elvis Costello doing it, Graham Parker. It's all part of that sound at the time. Any of them three singers could have sung this. It's great. I love it. 36 inches high. It's got some of my favourite guitar work on this. That strumming sounds weird, but it's just a classic track, isn't it? Marie Provost. This is the one track on here that I'm not a fan of, to be honest. And I think this is why this was relegated to number 2. Nutted by Reality. Groovy. The bass line is solid. And I love that crisp rhythm guitar. Then we have a live track on there called Heart of the City. It's quite post-punk. Great riffs. I love it. It's raw. It's dirty. It's mean. And a great way to end the album. Great debut album. Lots of great riffs. Some classic songs on here. Good all-round album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.3. But in the end, I went for this one as my favourite one. There's not much between these two, and it's the second album from 1979, Labour of Lust. So joining Nick on here, we've got Dave Edmunds and Billy Brennan doing the guitars. Terry Williams plays the drums. There's some additional personnel. We've got on harmonica on Born Fighter, the one and only Mr. Huey Lewis. Bob Andrews on Oberheim on Endless Grey Ribbon. Elvis Costello does the backing vocals on American Squirm. And bass on there is Bruce Thomas, and Pete Thomas does the drums on that. Opens up with my second favourite song by Nick, and it's Cruel to Be Kind. In the road, catchy song. I remember when this came out, I loved it, and I still do. Cracking up. What a vocal from Nick. Solid little track this is. Kick, big kick playing scrap. The drumming at the start really gets you hooked in. Some great guitars on this. Great vocal from Nick. Another good track in. Born Fighter. Huey Lewis's harmonica is fab on this. I'm a big fan of Huey Lewis, especially his harmonica playing. It's got some great drumming. I love how the drum changes so quickly in this. Excellent track. You Make Me. Love this. Nick's vocal is great. A little bit of a gentle guitar as well. Then we have another Mickey Jupp song, Switchboard Susan. Great cover of this song. I do like this song. Absolute killer riffs. Great solo in it. Then we have the Endless Grey Ribbon. Very strong vocal. Just a solid track. Without Love, the little country rock track. It wouldn't be a Nick Lowe album without a little country style track, and this is one of the best ones he ever done. Dose of You, the drumming is great on this, some nice guitar tones. Love Is So Fine, the last track, good old boogie track written by Nick, Dave, Billy Brennan and Terry Williams. It's just got that groove, that 12-bar boogie groove. Absolutely fantastic track to end this album. What an album. There was two very good albums from Mr. Lowe and Mr. Edmunds in 1979, of course, and this reminds me so much of my youth. Listening to this sort of pub rock music, it's absolutely terrific, this album. I've got this on, I did have it on cassette. It's now sits on my iPod because I had to do a download version of it. So I'm looking to get this on album, but I do love this album, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 8.5. So there we go, a little bit of Nick Lowe. At the end of the day, I like Nick Lowe. it was actually hard to rank these because there's some great tracks on all the albums that he's released. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow, and we've got another battle royale. This time it's between Sex Pistols and New Order. And Pick and Mix tomorrow is mixing it up. And this was a request for this producer, and it's a chap called Jonathan Wilson. Now, Jonathan Wilson is quite well known in the folk rock scene. So I'll be looking at his albums that he's produced, including some of his own. And we'll have a look at that tomorrow. And don't forget, tomorrow it is live stream. So, have a great day, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.